Most people study for the NASM-CPT like they're studying for a school exam, and I'm going to tell you right now that's a huge mistake. I want to show you how to study like a trainer so you understand and you know how to apply the information, not just regurgitate it for the exam. My name's Coach Joe Drake with the Axiom Fitness Academy, and my students pass because they shift how they think, not just what they memorize. Here's the shift. After you learn a new topic, imagine yourself explaining it to a real client. Could you break it down in words that they would understand, that make sense to them? Could you tie it to their goals? This is a really, really simple practice, but this one thing will literally double your retention on almost anything you're learning. And the cool thing is that this is how real CPTs think. And so let me break this down and give you a real example of what I'm talking about. There are plenty of concepts as you guys are going through the NASM material that a lot of people struggle with, even if they're not big major ones on the certification or on the exam. One of these that I've run into over time is the different contraction types. So let's say you're going through, you're learning about eccentric contractions, lengthening under tension. You're learning about concentric contractions, shortening under tension. You're also learning about isometric contractions where we have no change in joint angle, but we've got tension, we've got contraction happening in the muscle. And so a great way for you to get better with this is to force yourself to think about, how would I explain this to a client? Because the challenge that you have of taking these concepts from the textbook or from the material or from whatever resources you have access to now and putting them into your own words, that's really what it takes to go from level one kind of memorization based learning to more conversational and application, which are like level 2 and 3. And so you might take your time and think about, okay, how would I explain this with a client, someone who's coming in, especially as maybe you have somebody new coming to you and they're trying to figure out and understand why you want them to go so slow on the way down. What's the benefit of going so slow? Joe, it's so boring, right? These are the things that maybe you might hear from people along the way. And for you to be able to talk about, well, like eccentric contractions, this is not only where we may get some of our bigger benefit from things like muscle gain. So if you are trying to gain muscle, really focusing on the eccentrics is a great way to get that, as you guys have probably learned, inside of hypertrophy. But also, it's a great way for us to make sure that as we slow things down, we get this muscle lengthening, it's actually where you're strongest, right? You're strongest in these eccentric contractions. And so especially as you and I start training, it's great for us to focus on slowing things down, really focusing on that eccentric contraction because it's going to give you more control.